Hello everybody, welcome to another review. So I'm going to be reviewing the brand new album by The Halo Effect, Marginally Unheard. So The Halo Effect's second record has just come out last Friday, and I've been really looking forward to talking about this one, but I haven't had quite the time to get there until now, so here we are. So this is a melodic death metal band that has members from In Flames, and that's kind of why it's quoted as a spin-off on Wikipedia, which means if a band member's in a different band, then it will get listed as a spin-off, and vice versa, sort of like that. So yeah, the Halo Effect has released their first record back in 2022. It was #1 in Sweden, which is the very first time a metal album went to #1, or at least a debut metal album was #1 in Sweden, which is very nice to see, and I kind of wish we get more mainstream metal in that regard, or at least it's mainstream in Sweden, so that's quite nice to see. But Marginally Unheard, it's definitely a good follow-on from that sort of direction of melodic death metal, and it does everything you kind of want the genre to do. At the same time, it doesn't pull too many punches, but you get the experimentation on the record, which is quite nice, and I'll go through that in a minute. You've had bands like Dark Tranquillity with End Time Signals, a record they released last year, which I wasn't too big on. I thought it was an okay record. I just couldn't quite get into it as other people did. I thought it had some decent ideas, but I just didn't think the execution was something I was a huge fan of. And then you had In Flames, which In Flames have been for a rocky last couple of records like Siren Charms and I the Mask. There's been a numerous drought of weaker material. Well, that's not really the word I want to use. I'd say it's a drought of good material. But then Foregone released in 2023, and that was definitely one of my more favoured records of the year. It was very fun, very strong, and I feel like that's nice that the In Flames is managing to captivate that. And I say Halo Effect is kind of taking the older school route of it all, so you definitely have elements of older In Flames here, which is quite nice to see. The energy is lovely, especially with the first bunch of tracks. The first 5 tracks, in fact, are all pretty good and solid release tracks on their own regard. And then you get into this Curse of Silence, which is a little interlude to break it up, and I like it. It kind of gives this more symphonic little approach before you go back into the angry second half, which is a bit softer, but it still continues the energy. You have Between Directions, which is a more melodic one. It's a calmer one with more cleans than uncleans, as most of these kind of don't have. And then you have Coda, an acoustic performance kind of ended off. So pretty much you get 10 proper tracks, one interlude sort of track, and you kind of get an acoustic track, which is just no vocals either, like this Curse of Silence. So technically they're still songs, they're just kind of segments, and then you got one at the end to wrap it all up. Marginally Unheard has a great energy to it, and I think the writing definitely takes part to the earlier days of the classic melodic death metal, when the genre really started popping up. It definitely takes a very clean route. The production is pretty nice to see, the mixing works great, and I think the instrumentation just goes wild. I'm not going to say I'm the biggest fan of melodic death metal, because I don't think I quite am, but the Halo Effect definitely still managed to bring some sharp elements to it, while revitalizing what people liked about the classic era of the band. And so now some of the big faces aren't quite everyone's cup of tea, but I think the Halo Effect definitely are putting a name out for themselves. It's a good album, I definitely recommend it, and I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 5. I think it's pretty good. So I hope you all enjoy. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video.